Hello friends, I'm Pastor John, pastor of Sellersburg United Methodist Church, and I'm here out in front of our church today because I want to give you all a tour of our facility and our building and just let you know how to get here, where to park, what doors to go in, all those things that you might need to know if you want to come and visit us on a Sunday morning or for one of our special events. The church has been here for 157 years. The first church was built here in 1871, and so we've been here a long time as part of the Sellersburg community. The church behind me that we're going to take a tour of today was built in 1925. So just this past May, we celebrated the 100th anniversary of this building, and so it's an older building. And because of that, there are some issues with accessibility here and there, and so we'll try and point those out as they come up. But first things first, you want to know, if you're coming here to visit, where should I park? So let's take a look at the options there are here at our church for parking. The first option for parking is right out here in front of the church on New Albany Street. And you can see here that there is parallel parking on both sides of the street. While there is no parking that is specifically marked as handicap, a lot of our people who are handicapped or have wheelchairs like to park up here because they can roll straight from here around to the side of the church and up the ramp into our side door, which I'll show you in just a minute. The second option for parking is to come off of New Albany Street and come down Penn Avenue. That is this small street that is on the north side of the church, and that street leads you to our parking lot, which is behind the church. And so you are encouraged or more than welcome to come back here and park. Lots of people do, but just keep in mind, if you have a wheelchair or have a walker or things like that, it might be a little bit harder to get to our church because this is one level lower. So once you have parked, your next question is, what door do I go in? And if you park out here on the street, you certainly can come in the front door of our church. You're more than welcome to do that. These steps go through this door and lead right up to our worship space, to our sanctuary. But however, remember, if you do that, there are not just these steps, but there are more steps inside. There are in fact 13 steps between here and the sidewalk where I'm standing and the sanctuary. So if you have trouble with steps, you probably won't want to do that. Instead, you'll want to head around the side of the building and to our side door. As you can see, as you come around the corner from the front door of the church, you can come right up this sidewalk with this small amount of incline, turn the corner here, and head up the ramp up to our side door, which ends up sort of being our main door. This is the door that most people come in on a Sunday morning or for special events. If you park in the rear parking lot or in the school parking lot on a Sunday morning or whenever, this is the way you may come in. A lot of people park in the back parking lot and then come up this sidewalk. It does have stairs, but they come up this way. You can also park down there, come around through this other parking lot and up this ramp, and then on up into our side door. So this is the main ramp coming up to our side door. It looks a little disconcerting. Some people get a little trepidatious with it, but it is to a normal handicap ramp elevation. And it does in fact have this space here that I'm standing on now as a level spot in the middle so that you can rest on your way up or your way down. But this is the main ramp that leads into our side door, which, like I mentioned, becomes our main entrance. Once you come in the door, you will find yourself in our welcome center. This is the hub of the main level of our church. Through this door is the sanctuary, and so you can head through that way if you're coming on a Sunday morning. Through the door to my right is Fellowship Hall. That's where we have meals for barbecue or Young at Heart and all those different kinds of special events. And directly behind the camera is the bathrooms, all on the same floor, all on one level together. When you do come in on a Sunday morning, you will see the bulletin board here is filled with information about all the different things going on at a church and all the different organizations that we're connected with. If you come on a Sunday morning, you'll find a greeter standing here like I am, and we'll hand you a bulletin with information about the worship service, and they are more than happy to answer any questions that you might have about our church and about all the different programs that we have. So feel free, if you come through the door, you'll be greeted, and feel free to ask any questions that might come to mind. This is our sanctuary where we have Sunday morning worship. If you come in through the side door, as I just showed you, you will come into the sanctuary through that door over there where the exit light is above the door. If you come in the front entrance, you will come up those 13 stairs I mentioned and come in the back door here right behind the camera and in the back of the sanctuary. If you do happen to come in a wheelchair or come with somebody in a wheelchair, this space here in the back where a pew has been shortened is the perfect space to put a wheelchair in. We do have some people who come in a wheelchair on a fairly regular basis and enjoy this spot. There is enough room here for 2 wheelchairs. So once you do sit down into a pew, there are several things here to notice. One is that there is a welcome card. You can fill that out. We'd appreciate it if you did that. Once you have it filled out, you can place it in the offering plate. We pass these plates around at offering time. On your first visit, you do not need to feel guilty or feel like we're demanding money from you, but we would love for you to fill one of these out and place it in the offering plate. If you do come more than once and become more of a regular attender, these are offering envelopes that you can use if you would like. To put your offering into before you put it into the plate. The other things here are hymnals. These are books with the music that we sing. Not all the music we sing comes from these books, but a great majority of it does. And so we have a United Methodist hymnal, and we have also a celebration hymnal, and we do music from both of these at times. And so all the words that you need to say, all the words to prayers, all the words to the music will all be up on a screen at the front of the sanctuary. But I know some people really enjoy being able to read the music, especially while they're singing and know which notes to go to. And if you are one of those people who like to see the music, then these hymnals are here and perfect for you. This is Fellowship Hall. This is where we have our Young at Heart meal on the first Wednesday of every month. They have lunch here. If you come to our barbecue, this is where we have the dining in part of our barbecue. And that little room that you see back there, that during the barbecue is where we have our bake sale. On Sunday mornings, that is where one of our adult Sunday school classes meets. So if you do have some disability or you have trouble walking or you need a wheelchair, you can actually still come to our Sunday school classes, which meet at 9 in the morning on Sundays, and you can come to this class because it is all on the same level with the sanctuary, and so that makes it easy to traverse. This is the third entrance into our church, at the rear of our church and off of the main parking lot, which is behind our church. This entrance, however, goes into the basement level rather than the main level where the sanctuary and the fellowship hall are. That's important to remember, especially if you have some mobility issues, because there is no way to get from this floor to the first floor to the main floor without using stairs. So please keep that in mind. However, there is this ramp that leads you in and you can use to get into the basement level. So if you are only coming to the basement level, that would not be as big a problem. This is the basement level of the church. As you can see, there are a hallway here with classrooms, doors leading off. One door to my right is where the children are and where they meet on Sunday mornings. The door to my left is the nursery. And on around are the other classrooms going down from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I'll show you now room 2. That is where we have a lot of our meetings and also where we have our Friday morning Bible study. I wanted to show you room 2 here in the church basement as well. Room 2 is where a lot of the different meetings we have. On Sunday mornings, there is one of our 2 adult Sunday school classes meets here. So they meet down here in room 2. And our Friday morning Bible study meets here in room 2. Our board meetings, the prayer quilt ministry meets here in room 2. So lots of things happen here in room 2. And if you come in the rear door of the church and work your way down the hallway, you'll eventually come here to room 2 and can join us. And you are more than welcome to do so on any of our scheduled events. Lastly, in the basement here, I wanted to show you the stairs that lead up to the main level. This goes into our welcoming center area. I just wanted to point out, a lot of people, if it's really cold or really hot outside, they will park in the rear parking lot and then come through the back door and then come up these stairs. And if you have no trouble with stairs, that might be a good way to do it. You can get out of the heat or out of the cold sooner by doing it that way. The last thing I wanted to show you before our tour ends is the office. This is actually the original parsonage. That is the home where the pastor lives, but it was built at the same time as the church. So it is 100 years old. So it's no longer the parsonage. However, it is now the church office. And so if you have an opportunity to come to the church office, there is a box there on the front next to the door that has upper rooms. Those are daily devotionals. So if you need to pick up one of those when the church isn't open, you can do that. Office hours do vary week to week. However, they're usually Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings. But if you have that opportunity and need to come to the office, this is where it is. Thank you very much for watching this short film. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it was informational. And I hope that we see you soon. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.